All right, so welcome to the deep dive, everybody. You guys know the drill. You send us something that you're kind of obsessed with, and we're going to take a deep dive into it. We're going to explore all the different facets, and today we're taking a musical journey, so get ready. We're going to be exploring a new artist and their song.
And not just listening to it.
Yeah, no, we're going to go way deeper than that.
Way deeper. We're going to unpack what's behind it, the artist, the creative process, how it all comes together in this one particular track that we're going to be talking about. And you've given us a music review and the artist's bio.
Yeah, they're like our maps for this expedition.
They are our maps.
Yeah, and buckle up, because we're not talking about a band grinding it out in some big city.
No.
We are headed to
Mater.
Austria.
Okay.
The unexpected birthplace of a project called Third Man Syndrome. Pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
This artist had been making music for years, actually stepped away for a while to focus on some personal growth, and then bam, Third Man Syndrome emerges.
Very cool. It really speaks to, how life experiences can fuel creativity.
Oh, yeah.
And Third Man Syndrome is an interesting choice for a name, wouldn't you say? There's a kind of mystery and intrigue to it, which, perfectly complements the music itself. This isn't pop music.
Yeah.
We're talking instrumental rock. The review compares them to bands like Long Distance Calling and Monkey 3.
I chuckled when I read that, Monkey 3.
It's a great name.
It's pretty good. But, thinking about the music itself, it's all instrumental, no lyrics, no vocals, just pure unadulterated sound.
Yeah.
Ikarus is the song that we're focusing on today. And from the first listen, it was clear that this artist knows how to tell a story without relying on words.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And speaking of stories, the name Ikarus instantly brings to mind the Greek myth of Ikarus, who flew too close to the sun with his wax wings, and, well, we all know how that ended.
Yeah.
The review actually points out how the song mirrors this myth.
Yeah.
There are these incredibly calm, atmospheric sections that build into these explosive rock moments.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you can hear Ikarus's, ascent and tragic fall within the music itself.
When I was listening, I even pictured that exact scene. The soaring ambition, the sudden loss of control, the inevitable downfall.
Yeah.
Incredible how music can evoke such vivid imagery.
It is.
And the way this artist blends genres is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
The review called it post-rock, progressive rock, even mentioned ambient elements. It's like they took all these different colors and painted this incredibly complex soundscape.
They did it all from a home studio, too.
What?
Yeah. According to the bio, the artists built out their own space and really took the time to hone their craft.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That DIY spirit is pretty inspiring, especially in today's music industry.
I know.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it, if someone is that passionate, pouring their heart and soul into crafting each sonic detail, is it even possible for the final product to be anything but excellent?
You're spot on, and it's not just about passion. There's real talent here. The review raves about the artist's guitar work, calling it a subtle combination of ambient sounds and gentle guitar melodies that build to this electrifying rock energy. Those are some pretty evocative descriptions, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. And it's not just about the adjectives. The reviewer highlights the intricate textures and complex riffs that the artist creates. Now, I know those terms might sound a bit technical, but they basically mean the music is layered and detailed. Think of it like a tapestry with all these different threads woven together to create a rich and intricate pattern.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So we've got this incredibly talented artist, a home studio set up, and a story inspired by Greek mythology. But let's talk about the actual experience of listening to Ikarus. What stood out to you when you first pressed play?
The opening, for sure. It starts with this quiet, almost hesitant blend of ambient sounds and what the review calls gentle guitar melodies. It's like dipping your toes into a cool, calm pool on a hot day. But as the song unfolds, it's anything but predictable.
It's funny you should mention that, because I had a similar reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting this wall of sound, given the whole post-rock vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But the song really took its time to build. It was almost like the calm before a storm, which, when you think about the Ikarus myth, is pretty fitting, right?
Absolutely. The way the music builds tension and then releases it is masterful. The review mentions the dynamic range of the song, and I think that's a key element here. You get these moments of quiet introspection that suddenly erupt into these powerful, almost explosive sections.
It's like those moments in life when you're feeling completely overwhelmed, and then suddenly everything just clicks into place and you feel this rush of energy and clarity. Not to get too philosophical or anything,
No, I think that's a great analogy. And the way the artist uses different instruments to create that dynamic range is fascinating. They have the standard rock setup, guitars, bass drums, but they also incorporate these ambient synths that add an extra layer of depth and texture.
Yeah, I was really impressed by the way the instruments all work together.
Yeah.
It's like they're having a conversation. Sometimes they're in harmony and sometimes they're clashing, but it all contributes to this really compelling sonic experience.
Exactly. It's not just a bunch of instruments playing random notes. Each part is carefully crafted and contributes to the overall narrative of the song. And what's amazing is that it manages to do all of this without a single lyric.
Makes you realize how powerful instrumental music can be. It's like a universal language that speaks to something deep within us, regardless of our background or language.
Precisely. And I think that's one of the things that makes Icarus so compelling. It invites the listener to bring their own experiences and interpretations to the music. There's no right or wrong way to feel it.
Right. And that brings us to one of my favorite aspects of this whole deep dive, the production quality. I mean, we've talked about how the artist recorded this all in a home studio, and yet the sound is so polished, so professional. The review even mentions how impressed they were with the transparency and equilibrium of each instrument.
Yeah, they talked about how you can hear every nuance, every subtle detail, which is quite a feat considering the complexity of the music and the way the artist uses spatial dynamics, creating this sense of depth and space. It's like you're right there in the studio with them.
It's really cool. I know we keep gushing about this song, but seriously, you have to hear it to believe it. We'll make sure to include a link to Icarus in the episode description so you can experience this sonic journey for yourself.
It's a must-listen for any fan of instrumental rock or anyone who appreciates music that pushes boundaries and challenges expectations.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Third Man Syndrome and Icarus, let's take a moment to appreciate what we've uncovered. We've got this incredibly talented artist rediscovering their passion for music after a period of personal growth. They retreat to their home studio in a small Austrian town, and they create this sonic masterpiece inspired by one of the most enduring myths in human history.
And it's a testament to the power of instrumental music to transcend language and connect with us on a purely emotional level. The way Icarus captures the essence of ambition, risk, and the fragility of human endeavor is simply remarkable.
Really makes you think, doesn't it? How many other incredible artists and songs are out there just waiting to be discovered?
That's the beauty of music, isn't it? It's an endless journey of exploration and discovery.
And speaking of journeys, we'd like to thank Delaxi for sponsoring this deep dive and allowing us to share the magic of Third Man Syndrome with you. Don't forget to check out the link to Icarus in the episode description. Until next time, keep those ears open and never stop exploring.